And where are you looking at planting your flag at?
New Center, Detroit area.
Okay. Why is that?
Boulevard.
Oh, you already got a location?
Not in my mind. I locked it in. So I was born and raised in that area. And I just purchased a home back in the same area.
Got it.
So just to come back to my community and give back to my community is all I've wanted to do.
Absolutely. Understandable.
Today I'm going to kind of talk about catching things as a project manager. When contractors will sometimes, not necessarily adhere to the proper specifications and the quality control that you would want them to on their own. This is why management is important on a contract site or a job site like this, is because contractors aren't necessarily holding themselves to the standards that we would like. So a perfect example here is we've got this CMU block that got delivered a couple days ago. What we're planning on doing is we're planning on building our dumpster enclosure on the other side of the project here, and the plans call out for a gray or a split face block that's pleasing to the eye. Originally, the contractor delivered a bunch of pallets of this block, and what actually happened is they ended up throwing them out because we weren't ready to install them, and for whatever reason they didn't want to keep them stored here, so they actually tossed away the brick we were going to use. Well, then they tried to deliver this stuff. This is a red brick. This is not what we want on the job site. It's not pleasing to the eye. It doesn't really match anything. What I think happened here was, I think the brick or the block was left over, and they were just trying to get rid of it, which I understand. Apparently there was some conversation about at one point painting the block. We're not doing that. We're not painting any block. So we requested our contractor to take this back and send us the gray natural look block so that we can have a good looking dumpster enclosure. So that's the important thing. Again, it's important to catch these little things, because when you go back to an owner and try to explain why the dumpster enclosure is red instead of gray, then it's on you. You got to own the mistake. So it's easier to catch things and be proactive rather than reactive. We're standing on the front corner of the East Forest project right now. And right now we've completed almost all four sides of the building in the main siding material. And they've done that in about 2-3 weeks now. I think it's been about 3 weeks. But they're moving quite quickly. And then what they're going to do is they're going to come back and wrap these fins, all the vertical fins, in the same material that you see on the soffits, which is the Sagapur material. So that's going to act as our fascia board and our vertical siding for that as well. But yeah, so right now they're plugging away. I'd say they're gonna have about 10% of the Nichiha work left by the end of the week, but they'll be close on it. So they'll be running it along those plywood areas too. And then we'll cap the edges here with a fascia board, and it'll be painted like a dark bronze or black on that one. So we're in the back corner of the building on the first floor in what will be, or what is, the electrical room. Right now we are hanging drywall on the ceiling, and then once the ceiling is complete, they'll be doing it on the walls as well. But one of the things that we have to do in order to get power to the building is we have to build our riser, our electrical riser. Obviously, in order to do that, we've got to be drywalled and fire taped. So that's what we're doing right now. Once they're complete and they have drywall in all the way and they have it taped, then we're going to bring in our electricians to build our riser, and then we're going to tell DTE, hey, let's get power in here and get the building energized. Nothing too special about the drywall except for the ceiling. On the ceiling, we're doing one layer of drywall, then we're doing a layer of RC channel, and then we're doing 2 more layers of drywall. This gives us a fire rating of 2 hours, and B, it gives us a good S2C rating, which is a sound transmission rating, keeping the sound from the first floor for commercial tenants out of the second floor, which is all residential. Today I'm going to talk about another one of the siding materials that we just got delivered yesterday. Behind me you can see several pallets of it. This stuff is all as long as 18-20 feet long. It's about 12 to 18 inch wide sections, but essentially this is kind of a small sample of what it looks like. The actual color is going to be this color here, but basically this stuff is going on our main stairway and elevator shaft here. It's going in a few other locations, but that is the main location for it. But this stuff is pretty cool. On the edge here you'll see it's got kind of a raised edge, and what that allows it to do is every panel has the same type of edge here and the same type of edge here, so the next panel that's installed next to this one actually hitches over the top, kind of grabs it there and creates a sealable seal to it, and then it stacks all the way up to the top of the building, and it's going to receive a cap. I don't have the piece of cap that it comes with, but obviously these are all the panels, and then we've got several different styles of trim that'll go around them. So for example, this is called a J channel. This actually fits right over the edge, creating again a clean edge, for example, for something like inside corners. So if we're looking where these guys are installing the Nichiha currently, that Nichiha terminates at the stairwell, and then this material picks up on the stairwell, and so this J channel will actually install right there, and then you'll start your system just like that, and then each panel will lock in on top of each other, creating a continuous system. And then once they get to the top of the building, they'll have something similar to this. It'll be the same color, but it's basically a piece of trim that'll fit over the top, creating a clean edge on the top there as well. The difference is that the channel that goes on top will have a kick out, kind of like this actually. It's called a drip edge, but it allows for water to kick away from the building an inch or two and stay off the siding. On the bottom of the siding, where the brick actually is, you can't really see it here, but there's about 8 foot of brick up. Once this stuff meets that bottom, then we'll also have an additional piece that fits like this and then layers over the brick, again to create that drip edge for water and stuff like that.
So today I'm at a Hatch Detroit revealing. Basically there are 10 small businesses vying for $100,000 in grant funding to help launch their idea and or give their business a boost. And so I'm here at this event talking to these different small businesses, seeing if they're looking for some space on the east side. Right now I have about 6,100 square feet of empty commercial space that isn't having anything allocated for it at this point. So my ideal tenant would be a food service tenant. So I'm gonna primarily focus on those types of small businesses to see if they're interested in coming over to the east side of Detroit. But who knows, there may be opportunity for me to talk to other businesses that aren't food service related that also are interested in new space, that in turn gives me an opportunity to break the space up to not only include food service / restaurant, but also something like maybe a garment business or something of that nature. But at the end of the day, this is what developers have to do. Developers have to get out, boots to the ground, and figure out ways to solve problems. And one of the problems that I'm dealing with currently, looking for a tenant for my commercial space. So got to get out here. You got to rub elbows with folks and see what individuals are looking for out of a space, out of a neighborhood, and try to convince them that your space is the right space. 2024 for retail business, brick and mortar retail businesses, it's not easy. It's really, really tough, especially in the city of Detroit, because of how everything is spread out outside of the downtown, midtown neighborhoods. So wish me luck.
So for me, the money will be used to copy and paste a lot of the other answers to purchase a building, along with inventory and equipment. So I too, need to be able to purchase a flotation tank. It's important for me to open up this business though, specifically because of the type of business, because men need to be able to have this safe space, right? So I need to be able to have men in an area where they are around other like-minded men and they feel safe at all times. They don't have to worry about emasculation, they don't have to worry about embarrassment, so it's important for them to have this space for themselves. Two, one thing I also forgot to mention is that the business will also serve as a hub for other small business owners that don't necessarily have their own business home, that might be mobile at this time. So it's important for me to be able to have that space for them as well. So the money will be utilized for the center for a home for myself and for other small business owners as well.
$100,000. I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back. $100,000. But like everyone mentioned, a physical location. So we have our eye on the former Woodward Bar and Grill, which is right in New Center, right on Woodward, which for a while, up until 2022, stood as the Woodward Bar and Grill, which was a hub for the gay community, one of the only nightclubs that we had, until it burned down. So that $100,000 would go into remodeling, getting our first level set for the barbershop space, but also remodeling the upstairs for our community development space. So that way we can network and hold our health workshops, our DEI trainings, our ally trainings as well. And the remainder will also go into networking and our marketing department. Because you got to think, when you think Unity Community Barbershop, yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? Thank you. But we also want you to think Detroit when you hear it. So we have to market that because Detroit is the innovator of many things. And that's one thing we all in this room do know. So when you think of Unity Community Barbershop, I want you to think of Detroit. So even if you don't live in the city of Detroit, even if you don't live in the state of Michigan, when you think of first LGBTQIA catered barbershop, you're going to think of the city of Detroit. And that $100,000 will help us do that. Right. Thank you guys so much.
Well, $100,000 will continue to do what my $2,000 started. And that is create a safe, strong, and healthy community that I'm going to go into. The key thing is for us is that we're not coming in to take, we're coming in to grow. And so this $100,000 will put me in a position to reinvest in the community, reinvest into the company, so that we can flourish that and turn that to greater things. I wish I could be like everybody up here and figure out how to make $100,000 work, but my budget is not that small. So I will have to flip it and invest it so that we can make greater progress. Again, I started with $2,000 outdoors in Ferndale for 1 hour a week. I've turned that into a space now that I lease, 4,000 square foot that I built with every single piece with my hand. My blood, sweat, and tears. I built a 2,000 square foot floor, put in poles, installed lights, set up sounds, created a house, wired electricity with a permit. But it will help me to create a very safe, strong, and healthy community. We are lacking with so many resources in our community, but the thing starts with our health. We need to have places where we can be healthy and grow and not have to go to a gym, because I don't like gyms. And with roller skating, you can hide all that. You can skate for 3 hours and get 10,000 plus steps. So let me show you how to do that in 7 minutes.
Detroit. We're a Pakistani food pop-up based in Detroit that's been running for about 5 years. We're hoping to open a brick and mortar restaurant so we can take our pop-up off the streets and into a permanent home and continue to serve the community of Detroit that has been so accepting of us for the last 5.5 years.
So my name is Harry Rich. I create custom clothes, anywhere from a wedding dress, prom dress, suits, birthday gowns, all custom. I do same-day alterations, whatever it is you need, fashion-wise, styling. I'm your guy.
Nice. And where are you looking at planting your flag at?
New Center, Detroit area.
Okay.
Over
Why is
in
that?
the Boulevard.
Oh, you already got a location?
Not in my mind, I locked it in. So I was born and raised in that area. And I just purchased a home back in the same area.
Gotcha.
So just to come back to my community and give back to my community is all I've wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Understandable. Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Tell me about your business.
So what I do is in Roller Skate Detroit, what we actually do is we are a place where we create skaters. We actually reintroduce adults back into roller skating. So what we do is we train them. We also give them a place. It's a safe space. It's a community. It's an adult feeling where most skating rinks are children-based. We are actually a space that's built for adults. We're like a skate lounge. So it's a speakeasy. So if you know where we at, you know. We've been there for approximately about 2.5 years now, and again, all we do is everything is catered to adults. So we're not looking to, we do things with our community-based programs, and everything we do is just for adults. We have private parties, skating, so again, it's an adult grown-up experience versus going to a skating rink and feeling like an adult in the campus.
Absolutely.